What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Nick Sakkis Show. Today, we're going to be diving deep a little bit into the Facebook Ads Manager. I know there's a lot of confusion. People ask me questions all the time, like, what's the difference between campaigns, ad sets, and ads? All those things we're going to show you, and I hope you guys stick around because it's going to be a fun episode. For the past 5 years, I've been completely obsessed with online marketing and real estate. I've networked with some of the biggest names in the industry. And more recently, I opened up a digital marketing company helping other small business owners generate more leads and sales online. This show is dedicated to behind the scenes of exactly how I do that. So join me as I continue to learn, apply, and share all the best digital marketing strategies in today's world. My name is Nick Sakkis, and welcome to my show. All right. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Today we are going to dive in a little bit into the Facebook Ads Manager. And you guys have been following me for a while. You guys know that I love Facebook. I'm all about Facebook marketing. Most of the stuff I do as a real estate agent for other real estate agents and small business owners on bootstrap budgets definitely has to do with social media advertising, Facebook advertising, and it's really simple, right? Simple, not easy. That's the thing we like to talk about. So, with the ads manager, a lot of times, when I talk to people about Facebook ads, they feel like it's very complicated and a little bit overwhelming, which it can be if you don't necessarily know the foundation or the basics. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, which is going into the ads manager. There's really three different sections of the ads manager, and you have to start at the campaign level, and then there's an ad set level, and then there's an ad level. So there's really three different steps to actually running an ad inside of Facebook. Now, this is different from just boosting a post, and I know that a lot of people feel like boosting a post is very popular just because it's an easy thing to do, right? And I fully understand that. If you've never run an ad, if you've never set up the ads manager, going into your business page, if you will, and just posting something and then hitting that boost button is very enticing. But I'm going to show you guys exactly kind of the logic behind, boosting versus actually running an ad, because there is a distinct difference. And having that knowledge going into running your ad is very important. I always like to talk to people and educate people on having a plan is really huge in my opinion. So we always talk about what kind of budget you're going to have. Having a budget for the month, knowing exactly what you can spend, what you can afford to spend, will give you clarity as to what ads you're going to place, where you're going to place them, how often, the frequency, all that good stuff. So having a plan, knowing your budget up front, but then knowing exactly where these ads are going to be placed is kind of a big deal, right? Because just throwing stuff all over the place and not having a plan is not necessarily a good way to do it. And you could end up wasting a lot of money. Just because everybody says Facebook is the cheapest place to be and Instagram, you could still waste a good amount of money and not get any results. And that's kind of the difference between going from a traditional, just regular old boosted post to a tactful, meaningful ad running in the ads manager, because you can definitely get a little bit more froggy, if you will. You can get a little bit more detailed. You can pick out your audiences more specifically. You can pick out your target. Anyway, so we're going to hop right into it. But for anybody who hasn't seen the ads manager before, this might look new to you. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm going to try to do as good of a job as I can explaining without the visual. But if you do want to watch this on YouTube, I am going to be streaming my desktop here in a few minutes to show you guys exactly what the ads manager looks like from the different ad set levels, right? So I talk about the three different levels, which can get very confusing, right? You have your campaign, your ad set, and your ad. So just to kind of spice things up a little bit, right? You guys know I like to have a little bit of fun, and that's what this show's all about, is infotainment, if you will. So instead of just talking at a camera and telling you guys what to do and being as boring as you possibly can, I know there's a ton of videos like that online. I'm trying to bring some more production value, which is why I'm using this software, vMix. You guys can see this if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. This little ticker that I have going on the bottom right now is part of the vMix production software. This allows me to, right now, just because I'm getting used to this software, it's really, really cool. It's super powerful, right? This software allows you to, I could basically run a production with multiple cameras, control everything from a laptop. It's super slick, but it's very powerful. And right now I'm just kind of like a monkey on my keyboard, learning as I go. So that's one of the reasons why we're recording this right now, but also one of the things I'll teach you guys as we continue to learn more about marketing and everything. So the month of March, not to get too far off topic, but just I like, this show is all about sharing my journey, okay? And that's what I'm trying to do with you guys, is share my journey, show you exactly what I'm doing in my business, how I'm doing it, the logic behind it, and also give you guys some tips and tricks on marketing along the way. So this vMix software and what I'm doing right now, I'm doing a recording. So I've set it in my schedule from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing nothing but recording my show. And that's we talk about, if you're in the real estate industry, everybody talks about your lead generation time from, 8 to noon or whatever you have it. This is my lead generation. This is lead generation 2.0 for me, right? Because I'm building an audience through video, through tips and tricks, through all different kinds of instruction, but I want to build an audience and a brand around video, which is the most important thing now. So the old days of just cold calling people on the phone and trying to connect with them are kind of over. So really building this relationship. There's going to be thousands of people that watch this and hate it, and there's going to be thousands of people that watch it and love it. And you have to be okay with that. That's just one of the parts of this. So haters will hate, and people that love me will come closer to me. So that's what this is all about. But what I'm doing is recording this for a month. So this is the month of March in 2019. I'm going to be recording a video every single day, and then that way when I launch, the official launch is going to be April Fool's Day, which is kind of interesting. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but April 1st will be the official launch date of the Nick Sakkis Show. And then so when I upload all this content for the past month into iTunes and then load it up into YouTube and then start doing social media posts and everything to get the message out there, I'll have a backlog of videos. So kind of like the Netflix approach, if you will, of having a show go live on Netflix and then you can binge watch it. So if I were just to put my first episode out there on iTunes and somebody found it and they really liked it, a lot of times, 15, 20-minute show you can consume in your car while you're driving. But if you like it, you want more. So I want to be able to have 10 or 15, maybe even 20 episodes up front that people can just kind of pick through, check the topics that they like or don't like or whatever, and kind of weave their way through. So that's the methodology behind what I'm doing, and that's kind of what you should do for a good launch for an offer or a product, right, is to have that kind of momentum. So I'm building a little bit of momentum. Not to get too far off topic, but hey, that's what you guys are listening for, to hear me ramble a little bit, because this show is all about me sharing a concept. I don't necessarily have a plan in place when I come in, as far as just me and my camera and my vMix software and my little Bitmoji, which somebody said that looks like John Stamos, which I will take that as a compliment, because if I lost a couple 100 pounds, that means I would look like John Stamos, because my Bitmoji they don't have a large button on Bitmoji, unfortunately. So he's a normal size guy, but I am definitely not. Anyway, sorry for ranting. Here we go. Let's jump into the ads manager, and here's another content tip, right? If you're trying to bring a message to people, like I'm doing a training right now, we're gonna hop into the ads manager, and I do this all the time when I'm training a large group or in person. I try to correlate material to things that people already know. So when you hear me talk about the campaign, the ad set, and the ad, that's really boring. and that you might not remember campaign, ad set, and ad. But if you're like me and you're a fan of hip hop, you might be familiar with Naughty by Nature's song OPP, right? And so when I'm thinking of yesterday about doing this show and going live and recording my screen, and how can I relate the best to give people the aha moment, because that's all this is about, right? All marketing and sales and all that is just allowing your customer to have an aha moment of why they should interact with you, buy your product, work with you on a service basis or whatever. So because I like to have a little bit of fun, the campaign, the ad set, and the ad are very boring, right? So Naughty by Nature is going to help me out here, and I want to kind of reframe your thought process as to what the campaign, the ad set, and the ad looks like. And we're going to talk about the objective, the people, and then your production. So stick around real quick, and we'll go ahead and hop into to my screen. Get out with LPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with LPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with LPP, yeah, you know me. Who's down with LPP? Every line's on me. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. I don't know. I'll get some feedback as I go. If you guys think me sharing my screen and doing stupid stuff is too much, then we'll tone it down. But for now, I'm having fun, and I hope you guys are too. But this is what I want to reiterate to you. So you might not remember campaign, ad set, and ad, because this is going to be a lot of information if you didn't know this, but you'll remember OPP, right? Naughty by Nature. And that's, if you remember, objective, people, and then production. So those are the three things I want you guys to really think about. And the campaign level is your objective. Okay, so that O in the OPP objective, that means when you come into the ads manager, there's all these different things to choose from, right? And so if you've never seen this before, like I said, it could be a little bit confusing. And going back to a boosted post, what does a boosted post actually do? The boosted post is actually an engagement post. So what you're telling Facebook, and what I want you guys to kind of wrap your head around here, is Facebook classifies everybody into a bucket. So whether you know it or not, Facebook has put you into a bucket based on your behavior on the profile, on your profile on Facebook in general. So if you're the type of person to scroll through your news feed and click like or love or comment, you would probably be somebody who would be put into the engagement bucket, okay? Now, when it comes to driving leads and sales online, as small business owners, we want to bring people into our world and attract people into our world and capture their information. So if you have an ad, and this is going back to the boosted post, if you have an ad that you're running and your objective in your mind, whether you know that this is what you're doing or not, if your goal is to get somebody to fill out a form for your business to get either a lead or a sale, and you're doing a boosted post, you're in conflict with Facebook. And what I mean by that is your core goal might be to get that lead, but as soon as you hit boost on that post, all you're telling Facebook is that you want people to engage with your post, okay? Now, can you get leads through an engagement post? Yes. I've done it before. It does work if you do the right post. But in general, okay, an engagement post will get people to like, love, comment, and share, not necessarily fill out a form or click a link and go somewhere like your website to fill out a form. So keep that thought process. That's why the O in OPP in this objective is very, very important, because this is the first step to your ad. And if you're not crystal clear on your objective, then you could have an ad and spend money and not necessarily get the result that you want. So what are these different buckets here? What are the most popular? And I'll kind of go through this, right? So this awareness side on the left side, I really kind of leave this alone unless somebody has a decent sized budget. So this brand awareness, this reach, this is more for branding. And we're going to talk a lot on this show about branding versus sales. Okay. So branding is something that, the reason why I love Facebook so much is because you can get your face and your message and video content and all that out there to somebody, but not necessarily have them interact or anything like that. So this left-hand side for our small business owners, people who are really squeezing the juice, trying to get leads and sales, awareness is not necessarily where you want to go. Incidentally, it's funny because when you first start your business page, the first thing Facebook wants you to do is run like I think it's brand awareness, but one of these two categories, they want you to run a brand awareness in your local area. Again, they're just trying to get you in the lane or the muscle of running ads. So this is kind of like where they want you to start. I would skip that. From somebody who's run thousands and thousands of dollars on paid advertising for small business owners, if you're squeezing the juice, don't necessarily go into awareness. In consideration, this is the kind of the middle tier that we play in on a consistent basis. So this traffic section, this is telling Facebook this is the bucket of people that are likely to see an ad on Facebook, click that ad, and then go to a website. Okay. And so that is actually just sending traffic. You're telling people, I want as much traffic as possible. Why would you want to do this? Okay. Let's say you're testing or building an audience, right? So you have a product or a service and you're trying to build an audience of people to hit your website so that you can retarget them on a later date with a special offer or promotion. We'll get into retargeting. That's a whole nother subject. But traffic would just be just that. It'd be driving traffic to your website, not necessarily expecting people to sign up, but just going to your website, getting people there, finding out how many people are hitting your website, what the demographics are, where they're coming from, how they're looking, and all that kind of stuff. So the engagement side, again, this is what I was talking about with a boosted post. This is one and the same. Engagement is really, really good if you're trying to get some social proof. So I'll show you guys some ninja tricks on how you can get some social proof on a post to make it look really, really good. One thing that we do in the real estate world is if we get a new listing, we might share that listing on social media through an engagement post to get people to like and love that listing, and then run it as an ad with some social proof in the background. So that's kind of a little ninja trick. We'll get into that. If you like that, throw it in the comments and let me know. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, throw anything in the comments if you have questions. I'm going to try to monitor as much as I can, and then also it'll help me for future videos to let me know where you guys are at on your journey as far as Facebook advertising. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher or whatever, if you're not an Apple guy, I'm an Android guy, so I'm Stitcher for everything for all my podcasts. Then do me a favor, just go to the YouTube channel and type your comments, or if you want to hit me up on Facebook, I'm there too as well. So engagement is just what it sounds like. People are going to engage. App install. Not many people are doing app installs. Us at Keller Williams, we do have a new app coming out, which is going to be fantastic. It is. It's probably one of the best apps I've seen in a long, long time, especially for real estate. It's going to do way, way better than Zillow as far as user engagement and everything. The features and benefits in there are really awesome. So if you had an app and you wanted people to install your app, again, this is the bucket that you would want to get into. Video views is amazing. I love video views. You can literally get your message in front of thousands and thousands of people by shooting a video and throwing it up on Facebook. If you know what you're doing, and this is how I'm going to use video views for this show to get my message out there. This is how you could really build a relationship with your audience for very, very cheap. We're talking 1 to 2 cent video views. So if you think about that, if you were going to run a commercial on TV, it would be thousands of dollars per month to get a video in front of your audience. So these are the people on Facebook who are going to watch video. They consume video all the time. So this is the bucket of people. Lead generation, this is the core of pretty much every campaign that I do for any small business owner looking for email address, name, and phone number. If you're a business, if you're a service, and you're looking to collect leads, the lead generation tab is the way to go, and that is the bucket of people online who have shown that they like to fill out forms, right? Then you got messages. So if you wanted to do a messenger campaign, messenger bot. I actually have a friend of mine who is an expert on Facebook Messenger and chat bots, and I'll probably have him on the show as an interview, so we'll do that as a later date. But chat bots are really, really cool, and something that we're definitely going to talk about. Conversions. This is the bucket of people for sales, right? If you're a product, if you're e-commerce. I mentioned in another episode, like if you're the type of person that is building jewelry online and you're trying to build up that business and you need some sales, you'd want to go into the conversion tab. These are people who are likely to leave Facebook, okay, and then go to your website and purchase a product. And then same thing for these catalog sales and store traffic. Facebook, these are kind of new, and what Facebook has done recently is they've allowed you to connect your offline. So if you're a brick and mortar, if you're a local business, you can connect Facebook to your CRM in the background, whatever your point of sale service is, and you can actually track a customer end to end to see what's going on there. So really, really cool stuff. But this is the campaign side of things, and this is the O in OPP, and the objective again. Get out with OPP. Yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP. Yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP. Yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every line's on me. Sorry, that was too easy. But objective, big deal, right? Okay, so here we go. Ad set. When we get into the ad set, and we're going to go ahead and just pretend like we're doing an ad here. So I'm going to go into engagement and pretend like we're doing an engagement ad just because we're here. So we'll do test and go down to continue. Now here's the ad set, or what I call the P of people, right? The ad set is where you guys are actually going to choose your audience.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this.
So your audience is the people that you want to get in front of, right? That's what the ad set is. It's basically you're going to choose anybody that you want to show your ad to. So it starts off with location, and this can get as granular as 1 mile. So let's just say my office is 5020 West. If I can spell, holy crap, what happened here? Line, B-A-U-G-H. So 5020 West Limeball is my physical address. If you came in here and you said, okay, this is our physical address, this is our storefront, this is our brick and mortar, this is where we want to live, you can go in here and pick Limeball as your address, and even down to a mile. So if you really wanted to saturate this area, right? Maybe you're a local mechanic or something, and you wanted to saturate people to give them a special offer within 1 mile radius for free oil change or something like that. Maybe you're a coffee shop and you wanted to offer people just in the distinct area free coffee with a purchase of a suite or something like that. You can definitely go as granular as 1 mile. And that's one thing I want you guys to know. You know, when I started doing Facebook ads a couple 5 or 6 years ago, we used to be able to cast a huge net for a campaign. I mean, we would go out like 25 miles and do a huge campaign for an owner or like myself for real estate and attract a lot of people to one specific thing. And what's changed in Facebook's platform recently is it responds better to hyper local. So I want to kind of stress this. Just because you can get in front of all these people doesn't mean you should, right? It's one of those things where it all comes down to budget. That's why I said this is all planning. So if I went 27 miles out, I'm looking at 2.3 million people in the Tampa Bay area. That is a lot of people to try to get in front of with a message when everybody's scrolling through their news feed at 100 miles an hour, right? Trying to get the message that speaks to them, it's very, very difficult. So unless you're doing like a video view campaign where you're just trying to get a brand or a brand awareness or get people to jive with you, I like to keep everything within a radius, especially if we're trying to generate leads and sales. A radius of around 5 miles typically works really well, especially if you're only spending that $10, $20, $25 per day. Because as you can see here, the first thing is location. We'll pick out location, but you also have your budget here. So like if your daily budget is, again, it shows $11, but if it's $10, your estimated, and this changes, this isn't 100% correct. Facebook will give you a general range. But at $10 a day, you're only going to reach about 2,000 to 3,000 people out of that 510,000. So again, it all comes back to budgeting. And if you were to, bump that up to $100 a day, you see it goes from $2,000 or 2,000 person reach to 15,000 person reach. So that definitely beefs up here. So But going back to the ad set, this is where you'd pick your location, then your age, and we can get hyper, like super targeted with this stuff. And I'm not trying to bog you down. This is kind of just an overview of the different levels, but I just kind of want to show you what the power of this Facebook Ads Manager is. So again, 18 to 65, you can pick your ages. You can pick your languages. If you're a Spanish-speaking business and you only want your ads to go to Spanish-speaking people, that's cool. You can put that here in your languages. And then detailed targeting, I'm going to do a whole nother, which I've already done kind of an overview of the Facebook Insights tool. But we're going to keep going back to that because the detailed targeting, you can come in here and look at browse. So under demographics, you can actually check people's, this is all according to Facebook. So what kind of life events they have they had a recent birthday, stuff like that. So this is all information that people put on their Facebook profile. So if you think about when you fill out your Facebook profile, you put your name, your email address, your phone number, your date of birth, your, where you live, your location, all that stuff. So you can tap into that. So say you're a business owner, right? Maybe you're, again, back to the coffee shop. Maybe you're a coffee shop and you want to give somebody a free cup of coffee for their birthday. You can run an ad for the month of March saying, if your birthday's in March, come into our store and get a free cup of coffee. And then you run that to people that have an upcoming birthday. Like that would be a really good way to get people to stop in their newsfeed and say, hey, it is my birthday month. Like people feel special about their birthday, right? If you're like me, it's a birthday month. Some people hate their birthdays. They avoid their birthdays. So it's all up to just thinking about how you can capture people's attention. That's all this is about, right? And then you can come in here and get super fancy and go to exclusions or narrowing. Basically, if you wanted to have a multiple audience. So like, let's say we're going to the 25-mile range. If you wanted to break this down, okay, and I don't want to get too complicated here, but let's say we go to 26 miles, we're at 2.3 million people. And let's say I want to target people who are into let's see, what can we research here? Let's say the Dalai Lama, for example. Okay. Now, the only reason I put that in here is because I want you guys to see this is kind of random, right? Out of 2.1 million people in Tampa in 26-mile range, as soon as I put in Dalai Lama as an interest, it drops it down to 21,000 people. And you might say, well, why in the hell would you do that, right? So I was thinking of an example if you owned like a gym or something, or if you had yoga, like people who like yoga tend to be more spiritual and that aspect. So you can come in here with the Dalai Lama. You can even narrow it down even more and then say yoga. Or I should have done that vice versa. That'll probably, let's back that up. Instead of doing the Dalai Lama, let's do yoga and see what happens. So we're 2.3 million people. That's better. Okay, this is a better example. So you're a gym owner and you want to start offering yoga as a class, right? So you're in Tampa Bay. You want to run an ad. Here's 26-mile radius. This pretty much encompasses the whole Bay Area. 18 to 65. You might not do 65, but hey, whatever. People who like yoga, right? And then when you put the additional, when you click this narrow audience, they must also like the Dalai Lama, right? As a also. So they must like yoga and the Dalai Lama. That takes 2.1 million people and brings it down to 14,000. And maybe your offer would be come into our studio for a free session of yoga and we'll give you the Dalai Lama's most recent book for free. Like now you've created an offer. It's not just a product. It's not just everybody goes to a yoga studio and we're going to pick the closest one. It's, I feel special. Hey, I like the Dalai Lama and I also like to do yoga and I'm going to go check this studio out because they spoke directly to me. So anyway, not to bog you down with too much stuff, but that's kind of the power of what we got going on here. Now, this automatic placements is very, very interesting. Facebook always wants you to go into automatic placements, but I'm definitely going to show you guys in future videos because I could do a video on all these different placements. This is basically what you're going to see on your news feed in the marketplace If you guys have seen in-stream videos, if you've watched a video before, this is new. You can now put a 20-second video in between, kind of like a YouTube. Your right-hand column, these are the right-hand columns on the desktop. The marketplace, which I mentioned, and then Facebook stories. So you have the power to click and adjust all of these. By default, Facebook will launch your app, not your app, but your ad on automatic placements, because they'll just blast it out everywhere. For business owners, if we're trying to collect leads and stuff, I always come in here and edit the placements and just put it in the news feed to maximize the juice, but that's just another little tip, right? And then again, coming in here, another little tip, only connected to Wi-Fi. I really don't see too many people clicking this button, and it's fine if you're into branding and stuff, but if you're trying to collect leads, you definitely want to click this button. I've seen a huge increase in conversion when clicking on Wi-Fi, and it's one of those things where you got to think about where the consumer is, right? Everybody's on Facebook all the time on their phone. They might be at a stoplight. They might be at the grocery store. They might be picking their dog up from the groomer or their kid from daycare. And when they scroll through the newsfeed and see your ad, they're not in a place or a position to fill out a form, even though Facebook might have categorized that person as a form filler, if you will. They're not in a position to actually fill out the form, so you just wasted the money on showing that ad to that person. If they're on Wi-Fi, they're typically at home, right, or at work, or at a place where they're more likely to be in a steady location, not necessarily running around, and also have the ability to fill out a form and just in a more peaceful place. So if you're trying to generate leads, always, or at least test this for what your offer is, but click this. That's the reason why I would do that, right? And then your budget, you can come in here and adjust your budget from daily to lifetime and all that good stuff. The optimization and ad delivery is something that to take into consideration. This is where you can really annoy people. So on the engagement side and the impression side, it defaults. So if you want to have somebody see your ad every time they open up Facebook, you want to have the impressions. If you want people for post engagement, again, that's telling Facebook, hey, I really want this to show to only the people who are going to engage. And then the daily unique reach, that's something that if you wanted to run an ad for a longer period of time and not necessarily have to mess with it all the time, you can click daily unique reach and show it to the right people at the right time, but not oversaturate the message. And coming in here on ad scheduling, this is kind of a cool little tip. If you go into lifetime budget instead of daily budget, you can actually set a budget for a month, and once you do that, it allows you to come in here and put your ads on a schedule. So the only time I would really do this is if you are somebody who likes to only run ads on specific days, like maybe you're not even open on Sunday and you never want to drive traffic to your location on Sunday. You wouldn't want to run ads on Sunday if you were the coffee shop telling people to come in, because they're going to click your ad and go to your coffee shop and then you're not open, right? Or whatever. It might not be a good example. Maybe you're a tire shop or something that's closed on the weekend. That's a little bit better. Coffee shops are usually open all the time. So that is the people in the OPP. Now we're going to get into the ad.
Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every line's on me.
And again, objective. We've gone over the objective. We've gone over the people, and now we're going to go over the production. And this is my favorite part. This is the production, and this is what you guys are going to actually do, right? What does that mean? The production is your ad. I call it a production because it's exactly what it is. Are you going to shoot a video? Are you going to run a slideshow? Are you going to run just a picture? Is it going to be a carousel? Is it going to be an image? There's so many different things. You do an app download. So inside this engagement, you can pick exactly what you want to do. And so we're going to come in here and to create an ad. I'm not going to create a full ad. We're already at 30 minutes, and I promise to keep you guys within 20 or 30 minutes for this show. But this is where your production. What is your production? What is your ad going to look like? Have you figured out your copy? Are you coming in here with an image or a video, like I said? So this is really where the rubber meets the road. This is what is going to be shown to the consumer. And basically it all revolves. So you have to have the right message on the ad and also the right audience to get in front of, and then blend those two together, have a good offer, and that's where you're going to come. So you basically come in here. I'm just going to put something in here real quick. You guys can see all my stuff here if you're watching this on the YouTubes. So we'll put let's do this image. So that image was too small. Here's something pretty funny. We just had this yesterday, where, let's see, I'm in this different ad account. Let me make sure we're good here. Amplified Marketing Group. Okay, so we for the month of February, we were actually the number one team at Keller Williams in our office, which is really cool. So I made this stupid kind of little picture to highlight the fact this is the team photo. And so I ran this as kind of an engagement, blacked out the people that are in the background, made us look, shining stars, and put my stupid face looking up. It was funny. People got, good reaction out of it. But let's say all you're going to do is pick your picture. So whatever your image is, and that's one thing that I want you guys to fully understand. This is all about attention and getting people to click on your ad and engage, fill out the form, or do whatever. Something like this is very attention grabbing. Not only is it larger than the normal Facebook post, you have color going on here versus black and white. This is something that if you're scrolling through your newsfeed really fast, this is going to catch your attention. And all I need is a second, right? All I need is 1 second for you to stop and consume what I'm trying to give you as a message for 1 second. And if you like it, you're going to click through or watch the video or whatever. So that's all this is about. So always make sure when you're posting something, and especially one thing that works really, really well on Facebook and Instagram is stuff that's native, right? So people are searching through their news feed all the time, looking at pictures of their friends' kids, family, stuff like that. So anytime you can post a picture, even if it's not related to the ad, right? We do real estate ads, but I might post a picture of my kid, which is really funny, and people will stop to look at that and then see the ad is something else. So like you could have a coffee shop or again, a brick and mortar, something like that, or your jewelry. Maybe you have a picture of your kid wearing your jewelry, and that's the picture of the ad, right? People will stop to look at that. They love kids. That's probably, I think kids are the number one thing that people will look at on social media. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on here. So your text is going to be whatever you want the text to be. So look at me, Mom. We are number one, right? So whatever your text is going to be, this is really stupid. Another tip that I do, because this is from the desktop newsfeed, right? And we're running on almost 40 minutes here, so I'm going to speed this up. So emojipedia.org, emojipedia.org is where I go to get all the little emojis and stuff. So that's, again, it's native to Facebook. If you're on your phone and you're doing a message just as a personal post, you can access your emojis from your keyboard. Well, when you're on a desktop and you're using this manager, there's no emoji keyboard. So you can come in here to Emojipedia and actually copy emojis to put that into your post to make it look a little bit more attention grabbing, right? You see that just jazzes it up a little bit, makes it look a little bit more native, and people are more likely to pay attention if there's cool emojis on your ad, right? The call to action button is pretty important, and most of the time I've seen learn more is probably the number one most used. There's a reason for it, is because people don't feel threatened by learn more. Learn more is I'm going to click this and then learn more. It's not like download or sign up or message or one of those purchase now. Those are very, very heavy kind of calls to action. That's telling the consumer they're on Facebook and they're having fun. They know that if they push that button, they're immediately going into something that they're not really sure about. So if they don't know you, the likelihood of them seeing something and purchasing it right away is pretty slim. So you kind of want to just kind of ease them into it, right? Just, hey, just learn a little bit more about me. Just come to my website. We just want your name, email address, your phone number, your date of birth, your social security number, your firstborn daughter's name, all that good stuff. Just learn a little bit more about me, right? So that's that. That's OPP. That's objective instead of campaign. Okay. People is your ad set, and then your production is your ad. Very simple. So hopefully the next time you hear Naughty by Nature in the background, if you're at a house party, you're having fun, doing something, maybe you will think of me. I don't know. that would be really, really cool. But I hope this brought you guys some value to get some clarity behind what is going on inside the Facebook Ads Manager. It can be complicated. I like to say things are, it's simple, not easy. It's very simple if you know all the steps, but it's not necessarily easy if you don't know what all the steps do. So hopefully this little breakdown helped you guys out. I really appreciate anybody that watches this. Again, I'm trying to help as many small business owners as I can really take a hold of their marketing and understand what's going on in the digital landscape right now. So if you like this, please share this with your friends. If you're on iTunes, go ahead and give me a review, 5 stars, hopefully, and above. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and to get more content. I'm going to be doing these videos. My intention is Monday through Friday, every single week, to get out as much content as I possibly can to help as many people as I possibly can. So thank you guys for watching. I really, really, really appreciate it. And until next time, happy advertising. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's show. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, just search for @NickSakkis. Pretty much I'm on every platform. And again, if this show brought you any value, please share it with anybody that you might think would be interested. My goal is to help as many small business owners as I can be effective through social media marketing. So until I see you guys next time, happy advertising.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.